The Caves level in Tomb Raider Remastered revisits the legendary opening chapter of the game that introduced the world to Lara Croft. Released as part of a remastered trilogy, this level serves as a nostalgic trip for longtime fans and a compelling introduction for newcomers. It takes place in the snow-dusted mountains of Peru, where Lara ventures into an ancient cave system in search of an artifact. While the remaster carefully preserves the original spirit, it layers in modern graphical improvements and smoother gameplay, creating an experience that feels both familiar and fresh. One of the standout features of the Caves remaster is how it handles the visuals. The original, with its low polygon models and blocky environments, is completely overhauled with high-definition textures, more realistic lighting, and improved animations. Entering the caves, players are met with dramatic shadows that dance on the walls, subtle reflections from icy surfaces, and realistic details like crumbling rocks or the misty breath of Lara in the cold air. This combination of modern graphical techniques and attention to atmospheric detail lends the caves a more sinister and immersive feel than the original, which relied more on the player's imagination to fill in the gaps. The cave environments themselves have been redesigned with care. While the overall layout remains true to the classic, additional details have been added to enhance the realism. Stalactites hang from the ceiling and cracks in the walls allow small shafts of light to pierce the darkness. The iconic moments, like when you first encounter a wolf pack or jump over a perilous gap, look more intense and polished. The remaster clearly respects the past but also takes advantage of current technology to push the experience forward. The gameplay in the caves remains largely unchanged, which is likely to please veteran players. The remaster sticks close to the original formula of platforming, light puzzle solving and combat, but with modern controls that are more responsive and precise. That being said, Tomb Raider Remastered retains the difficulty of the original platforming. Timing and precision are critical, and you'll find yourself often calculating the angle of a jump or the speed of a run-up before making a daring leap across a gap. The tension of these moments, heightened by the sense of impending danger from collapsing platforms or nearby enemies, keeps you on your toes. Some may feel the platforming and traversal mechanics have not aged well, but the remaster does a good job of polishing these elements without compromising their nostalgic difficulty. The puzzles, though not complex by modern standards, still provide an enjoyable challenge. The Caves introduces players to the fundamental puzzle design that would go on to define the series. The remaster smooths out any rough edges, making these puzzles easier to manipulate, but doesn't alter their core functionality. Combat in the caves is relatively sparse but tense. Lara's encounters with wildlife, primarily wolves, are a far cry from the more sophisticated combat mechanics of later entries in the series. While the AI remains basic, the remaster has done a good job of making combat encounters feel more dynamic through improved hit detection. Shooting with Lara's iconic dual pistols feels smoother and more responsive than ever, though the simplicity of the combat may seem somewhat dated to players used to modern cover-based shooting mechanics. Still, there's something endearing about the straightforwardness of Tomb Raider's early combat design, and the remaster's tweaks make these encounters more engaging without straying too far from the original experience. A key element that sets the tone in the caves is its atmosphere, which has been enhanced in subtle but effective ways. The audio design has received a noticeable upgrade, with deeper environmental sounds that make the caves feel alive and threatening. You'll hear distant howls of wolves echoing through the caverns, bats flapping their wings, and the crunch of Lara's boots against the frosty ground. These small details amplify the feeling of isolation and danger as you navigate through the dark, narrow corridors. The improved soundscape helps to create an immersive atmosphere that's a huge step up from the more simplistic audio of the original. The remastered soundtrack is another highlight. It respects the minimalistic musical cues from the original. The score swells during moments of discovery or danger, heightening the emotional impact of these scenes without overpowering the gameplay. The audio and music help to maintain the eerie, mysterious vibe that Tomb Raider is known for, while feeling more polished and sophisticated in this remaster. Balancing nostalgia with modern expectations is always a tricky act for any remaster, but Tomb Raider Remastered nails this in the caves. For longtime fans, this level will feel like a respectful homage to the original. You'll recognize the layout, the platforming puzzles, and the memorable combat encounters, all presented in a way that taps into that sense of nostalgia. Yet, for new players, The modernized controls and graphics provide a more accessible and visually appealing entry point. The remaster doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, but instead focuses on refining the original experience. It's a testament to the enduring design of the original Tomb Raider that these core gameplay elements still hold up so well decades later. While some aspects like the combat AI or the simplicity of the puzzles might feel dated by today's standards, the charm of Tomb Raider lies in its ability to transport you into a world of adventure and discovery, an experience that's only enhanced by the remaster's updates. Overall, the caves in Tomb Raider Remastered offers a perfect blend of nostalgia and modernization. The updated visuals and sound design breathe new life into this classic level, making it a joy to revisit for old fans and a fresh, engaging experience for newcomers. The remaster keeps the core gameplay intact, while smoothing out the controls and adding layers of polish, creating a version of Tomb Raider that feels right at home in the modern gaming landscape. Whether you're stepping into Lara's boots for the first time or reliving the adventure, The Caves is a solid and memorable start to a classic journey